Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
Let's dive into the controversy. Daytime TV has just been rocked by an unexpected turn of events. Joy Behar, the longtime co-host of The View, has officially exited the show following intense backlash, legal challenges, and a storm of reactions across social media platforms. But what could force out one of daytime TV's most outspoken and long-standing personalities? Hold on tight, because this tale is packed with controversy, irony, and plenty of blame. Let's break down the shocking events and uncover why Joy Behar's exit has ignited a whirlwind of speculation.
Trump, I was stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that job.
It all began here. During a recent episode of The View, a show famous for its heated discussions and passionate debates, Joy Behar made a remark that left everyone stunned. While talking about Karoline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary under the Trump administration, Behar suggested that Leavitt's appointment was based purely on her looks. Yes, you read that correctly.
Karoline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old. But boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House brief.
Ouch. That wasn't just a comment, it was a direct hit at the heart of controversy. Let's not forget that at just 27, Leavitt is the youngest person ever to hold the role of White House press secretary. Despite her youth, she has an impressive background, having served as communications director for major Republican campaigns and worked during Trump's first term. Yet instead of recognizing her achievements, Behar reduced her to nothing more than her looks. This comment didn't just stir up a reaction, it sparked a full-scale firestorm. The response was immediate. Audience members were left shocked, and even Behar's co-hosts appeared visibly uncomfortable. Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former Trump administration staffer, quickly stepped in, clarifying that it wasn't Leavitt's first job, just her first press briefing. And if you thought the studio reaction was intense, wait until you hear about the online fallout. Social media exploded with criticism from all sides of the political spectrum. Both supporters and critics were quick to highlight the hypocrisy. In Behar's comment, especially given her long-standing reputation as a defender of feminism and women's rights. One user posted, "If a Republican had said that, they'd be roasted." Another remarked, "Joy Behar just showed that The View only supports women who align with their views."
Something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you.
But the story didn't stop there. Karoline Leavitt wasn't going to let this go unnoticed. Instead of simply issuing a statement, she took bold action and filed a lawsuit against Behar, accusing her of defamation and character assassination. The legal filing argued that Behar's comments were not only inaccurate but also malicious, intending to damage Leavitt's reputation. This lawsuit wasn't just unexpected. It was a direct attack on both Behar and ABC, the network behind the View.
Without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table.
Behind the scenes, ABC was reportedly in turmoil. Executives were scrambling to determine the best course of action. Should they apologize, suspend Behar, or sever all ties with her? Staff at The View were said to be divided, with some standing by Behar, while others quietly recognized that the situation had spiraled out of control. It's worth noting that Behar has often found herself at the center of controversy, but this time the stakes were significantly higher. The lawsuit, combined with the intense public backlash, left ABC in a tough spot.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on look?
To make matters even worse, rumors started circulating that ABC executives had been holding urgent behind-the-scenes meetings for several days before Behar's departure. Sources within the network revealed that executives were in full panic mode, with some fearing the lawsuit could escalate into a much larger reputational crisis for the network. While ABC has often been criticized for The View's controversial content, this particular scandal was seen as especially damaging due to its legal implications. One insider described the atmosphere at the network as tense and chaotic, with executives trying to strike a delicate balance between loyalty to Behar and mounting external pressure to take action.
It's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2 administrations.
The tension wasn't just confined to the executive level. Staff at The View were reportedly divided into 2 groups. Some were fiercely loyal to Behar, arguing that while her comment may have been inappropriate, it didn't justify the extreme backlash. On the flip side, others felt that Behar's remark about Leavitt crossed a line and was completely unjustifiable, especially for someone who portrays herself as a champion of women's accomplishments. An anonymous staff member reportedly told an outlet, "This isn't the first time Joy has gotten us into trouble, but this time it feels like there's no coming back from it." The split among staff created a charged atmosphere, with rumors swirling about whether other co-hosts might face repercussions from the scandal as well. To complicate matters further, concerns were rising about ABC's potential legal liability in the lawsuit. Legal experts quickly began offering their opinions across various news outlets, debating whether Behar's comments could qualify as defamation. Some felt Leavitt's lawsuit had a solid foundation, especially given how personal and direct Behar's remarks were. However, others noted that Leavitt might face difficulty proving malice, a key factor in defamation cases involving public figures. Regardless, the legal proceedings ahead are expected to be complicated, with ABC potentially caught in the middle. One expert pointed out that even if the network tries to distance itself from Behar, the fact that they aired her comment could make them partially liable in a courtroom.
Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon them.
Since the controversy broke, Leavitt has remained firmly in the public spotlight. In an exclusive interview with a conservative news outlet, she reiterated her criticism of Behar, calling the comment not only sexist, but also outright unprofessional. Leavitt seized the opportunity to showcase her qualifications, highlighting her resume and accomplishments to emphasize that her role as press secretary was earned, not simply based on her looks. This move has strengthened Leavitt's supporters, with many praising her poise and endorsing her decision to defend herself against what they saw as an unwarranted attack. Then came the stunning announcement. ABC officially confirmed that Joy Behar was leaving The View. The timing of the announcement, just days after Leavitt filed her lawsuit, raised questions about whether Behar's departure was truly voluntary. While the network's statement was vague, simply stating that Behar decided to step down and wishing her well, insiders believe ABC executives likely pressured her to leave to protect the show's future. Let's be honest, The View has faced its fair share of challenges, but this scandal might have been the breaking point. Public reactions to Behar's exit have been mixed, with some celebrating her departure, arguing that it was finally time for her to face the consequences of her controversial remarks. One fan commented, "Maybe ABC should just shut down entirely. That would solve everything." Another added, "I don't understand why that show is still on the air or why it was even created." On the other hand, some longtime The View viewers are grieving the loss of one of the show's most outspoken personalities. They argue that Behar's exit was due to political pressure, with many claiming that ABC succumbed to external forces. Meanwhile, conservative commentators are hailing her departure as a significant victory, seeing it as a rare instance of accountability in what they perceive as a biased media landscape. And
Really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
And let's not ignore the irony. Joy Behar has always positioned herself as a staunch defender of women's rights and empowerment, frequently calling out others for belittling women. Yet, in one moment, she undermined everything she stood for. This hypocrisy hasn't gone unnoticed, with many pointing out that her remark about Leavitt was exactly the type of behavior she's spent her career opposing. So, what's next for The View? The show now finds itself at a critical crossroads. Joy Behar was a central figure, and her departure leaves a significant void. ABC will need to carefully decide who, if anyone, will take her place. Will they opt for another strong liberal voice, or look to introduce a more conservative perspective? Either way, it's clear the show faces a difficult journey ahead in rebuilding its public trust and credibility.
Dang, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, detail.
For Joy Behar, the path forward is uncertain. Will she contest the lawsuit to safeguard her reputation, Or will she quietly exit, further solidifying her role as one of the most polarizing figures in daytime television? As for Karoline Leavitt, her decision to sue Behar has certainly increased her visibility, but it has also placed her squarely in the middle of a media whirlwind. Will this legal fight advance her objectives, or could it ultimately work against her?
But even factoring in that she's a nice-looking lady, I love that the Liv's attacks on conservatives right now are that we're hot and cool.
What do you think? Was ABC's choice to part ways with Joy Behar the right move, or was she unfairly forced out? Can The View continue without one of its most controversial hosts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this unfolding story. The drama is far from over, so stay tuned for more shocking twists and revelations. See you next time.